Hi everybody, it's Martin again. Another video, classic cameras from the past, and it's all about this medium format rangefinder camera, the Mamiya 6 Automat or Automat. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I just call it the Automat. So this video is all about this camera. It's split into 3 sections. The first part is where I went up onto Ilford, quite a wintry day. I encountered 2 problems, not with the camera. The first problem wasn't my light meter battery ran out, so I had to guesstimate the exposures. And the second problem is when I developed the film, there seemed to be a problem. Now I'm not sure if it was the actual film itself or the development. I've got to investigate that. That day I used Ilford HP5 and developed it in Pyrocat HD. Now to show you more pictures what this camera can do, the following day I went walking about in Otley taking pictures. It was a dull day, so I put Ilford HP5. I developed that in Diafine and rated the HP5 at 800 ISO. The final part of the video, I'm going to do a short review and show you around the Mamiya 6 Automat camera. I think this camera is a bargain if you can get hold of a good one. You can pick these up for around about anywhere from 120 to 150 pound in good condition, and you're into the world of medium format cameras. It's a pocketable camera, and I think it's a great little camera just to walk about with, and you've got this big medium format negative to play with. So on with the video, and let's go to Ilford. So I've come out today with my Mamiya 6 Automat. It's this camera, and just testing it out really. I've had it serviced. The last time I went out I had a lot of light leaks, and it had hundreds of little pinholes in the bellows, so I had the bellows replaced. It's a lovely camera, but as I say, I've not really tried it because of the light leaks. So I'm going to just have a little walk about, take some pictures. I'm mounting the GoPro onto the cold shoe of the Mamiya, and you can just see what I'm photographing that way. So really it's a test today, so see how we go on. It's extremely cold up here today. Laying snow. Some lovely views from Ilford. It's like someone's lost their sunglasses. What I'm actually trying to look for is shots that shooting into the light. See how the Mamiya lens, well, it's actually an Olympus lens on this, copes with it. Finding these things is harder than you think though. Just on the moors, there's no trees. So I'll keep looking round so I don't see something. It's a winter wonderland at the moment. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, can you believe it? My light meter's battery's gone, so I'm going to try and guesstimate the exposures. I reckon in this bright light this wants to be around about 250 f11, so I've got that set on the Mamiya, and now I'm going to focus on the stone. Keep that to the right hand side of the picture and get the hills in. That's that one. quite like this photograph, this sort of composition where this path's leading up to the big rock that I've just photographed. So I'll open the lens. I think I'll probably keep the exposure, I'm guessing this, I think I'll probably open the aperture to f8 for this one. And then get lower down, get the path in. Focus about a third of the way in. Keep the rock just off centre. And that's that one. Yeah, I think that might work. We shall see. I forgot to mention that I've got Ilford HP5 loaded in the camera, and I'm going to develop them in Pyrocat HD. Hopefully that's going to control some of the highlights. It's absolutely beautiful up here. What a beautiful moor, Oakley Moor. And that big hill up there is called Beamsley Beacon. It's one of the highest hills in the Wharfdale Valley around here, covered in snow. So I'll carry on. Just thought I'd try Mamiya an action shot of the runner. I don't know if that worked. Again, I'm guessing the exposure, but I should have enough experience now to know when they're right or wrong, or thereabouts. So I think I'll head in this direction now, see where it's taking me. I'm going towards the Calf Rocks. The trouble with the Calf Rocks this time of year, or any time of year, because the sun sets at that side, it's always in shade, so it's not always ideal for taking pictures. That's Ilkley, bathing in the sun, and that where the trees are, it's one of the old quarries, and then we've got the top there of the Calf, and in the distance we're looking beyond over that hill is what called the Washburn Valley. This is going on to the higher part of Ilkley Moor. I don't think I'll be going up there today, but it's a lovely walk. Right, that's it, I'm back in the van. I've taken 11 photographs and I've saved one for a picture that I want to take on the way home. It's just a wooden spire on a modern church. And as I said, they'd like me to battery run out, and I had to guesstimate the exposures. Anyway, just coming into the van and thinking about it, I've got my phone and I've got a light meter app on that, so I might try that when I photograph this this wooden church spire and just see how it turns out. So that'll be the last shot on the way home. I've really come out today to test the Mamiya 6 Automat, because I bought this camera, it must be a year ago, and I haven't never used it, and round about early September I thought I'll just try this camera because it looks absolutely perfect. I went out with it, took the pictures, come back, developed the negatives, and there were loads of light leaks. So careful checking of the camera, put a small light inside the bellows, they were covered in holes, and there's nothing I could do to repair that. So it's such a nice camera, I bit the bullet, sent it off, got some new bellows fitted and the camera serviced. So today I've come out really just to try and see if the camera's actually working okay. This camera really is a great camera because it's so pocketable for a medium format camera. It shoots 6x6 square images. So as I say, it's really easy to use, and it fits into a coat pocket easy. So I really need to know and have confidence to know that it's working. So with the light meter battery dying on me up on the moors, I had to guesstimate half of the exposures. So we'll just see how they turn out. If they turned out, I'll show you them. If they don't turn out, then, or if they're not very good, I won't show you them. But what I'm also going to do is do a little mini review of this camera and just show you how it works and why I like it so much. And I'm going to compare it with the other Mamiya 6 that I have, and I've done a review on that one, and compare this to that one. That one's a slightly different, an older model, and it's a bit more awkward to use. So I thought I'd just do a little review and show you how nice this Mamiya 6 Automat is to use. So as I say, I'll get off now and I'll take this last photograph. I'll use my phone app, I never thought of that, see if that works, and get these developed, and then I'll do the review on the camera. So I'll get myself off now. It's the light's going, so I better get moving before it becomes dark. It gets so dark early this time of year. It's depressing really, roll on spring. Okay, I'll shoot off now and I'll go photograph this church spire. Seen this church tower, it's a modern church, and the trees in the foreground. So I'm going to take a photograph of this, just taking a light reading, and it's 60th of a second at f5.6. So I might just throw those branches slightly out of focus. So I'll take the shot now. Right, I'm back in Otley today. The photos that I took on Ilkley Moor, although at the size you'll see them on the web, they don't look too bad, but there seemed to be a problem with the film, and this is the problem that I was getting. Now I've had this before with Ilford HP5, wrote to Ilford, and they accepted responsibility. It was something wrong with the batch of film, and I think this film has got the same, although it's not hardly as worse as what I had with FP4, so I'll be writing to Ilford again. So I thought I'd just come round Otley. It's been snowing and sleeting a little bit with the Mamiya 6, and just take some more photos just to show you what this camera can do. I do love this camera because, as you can see, medium format camera, and I can just slip it into a coat pocket, which is great for just walking about and taking pictures. So I'll see how we go on. Right, I've just seen this path, come up these steps, and then seen this path, and it's Yorkshire slate, and I just like the reflection from it. So I'm going to take a picture of this. Today I've loaded the camera with Ilford HP5, and I'm going to develop it in Diafine, and that'll give me a speed of 800 ISO, which I'll need in this dull weather. So take this picture and see how this turns out. There's some more wet cobbles there, so I'll take a light reading and take a photograph of this. So for this I'm going to focus around about, I don't know, 10 feet, and at this f4 aperture just throw the background out of focus. So that's got that shot. See what's around the corner. So I've just seen this cobble street, and I think if I get lower down, get a nice angle. The exposure again is 125 at f4, so I'll take a picture of this, see how this turns out. Right, hopefully that'll turn out. Carry on, see if we can find some more. I've just seen this tombstone. Normally this is really black and difficult to photograph, but with the snow on it I think it makes quite a nice abstract sort of picture. So again I'm at 125 at f4, so I'm going to focus on the head, keep that in sort of the top 2/3 of the picture, and the bottom will go slightly out of focus. I could have done with more depth of it, but we'll just see how it turns out. Right, that's got that one. Just check it out with the viewfinder from the Mamiya. Let's get a bit further back. I might try it. I think I'll use a wider aperture this time. Probably go wide open at f3.5. Might take a picture of this this path, and we've got the light shining there, but the only problem is I'm at 1/15th of a second at f4, so I'll see if I can rest it on something and railing, see if I can get a... So I've got the camera rest on the railings. I'm at 15th of a second at f4, and hopefully I can get the shot without any camera shake. See how that turns out. So we're at 10 Downing Street now. Just out of pure fun, I think I'll take a picture of this. I'm at 100th of a second at f4 now as the light's going. That one. Well, I just took a couple of shots of that guy feeding the seagulls. Hopefully it'll turn out. happens that quick. But I did pre-focus, so we shall see. Right, I've used the 12 frames up. Back home, get it developed. This is what I like about these folding cameras. 6x6 centimetre camera, and I can just put it in my pocket. No need for any camera bags. I love it. As a walkabout camera, they're absolutely fantastic. Right, as promised, a short look and review of the Mamiya 6 Automat. You've seen the pictures I've taken with this camera in this video. I did a review on the Mamiya 6, the older version. There's quite a few variants of this. This is the older one that I did the review on. And as you can see, looking at the two cameras side by side, they are similar. But this Automat model is a lot moderner looking. It just looks a lot nicer camera. This looks quite old fashioned. It's got the same rangefinder window, although the one on the Automat is a lot bigger, a lot brighter, and the rangefinder patch is really clear to see. In this one it can be a little bit more awkward. Also, the bottom of the Automat is completely flat on the base plate, where on the older Mamiya we've got these knobs at the bottom, and that can be a problem sometimes when you put in the camera in a coat pocket, and it can get caught up on those. So all in all, it's a cleaner looking camera, the Automat. If we look at the top of the both cameras, we can see that the layout is very similar. The body shape's a little bit more modern on the Automat, but we've got the depth of field scale. This moves and gives you an idea of the depth of field that you're getting at different apertures, and it'll give you a distance scale as well. On this camera, I'll turn it the other way. It seems to be facing a more logical way. You know, when you're looking at the camera that way on, you can read off this scale, but on this camera, for some reason, they've put it sideways. I suppose it doesn't make a lot of difference, but it just seems more logical that way. We've got the shutter button on both cameras, cold shoe, and then the wind knob on both cameras there. This one has got frame numbers on it. It doesn't show those on this Automat because it automatically winds to each frame. You can't double expose with this camera. If I show you the back of the camera, we've got a window. This isn't for viewing the frame numbers, it's just to confirm that the film's winding on to the take-up spool. Once that's closed, when you've got to frame 1, you've no need to look in that window again. That's the viewfinder window. This is brilliant because it's got plastic surround, where on the older one it had a metal one, and that was a devil for scratching glasses if you wear them. With this one, with no problem. Now then, that's the focusing knob, and that fits really lovely when you hold the camera. On both cameras, it's beautifully designed for your finger on the shutter and being able to focus. Just absolutely spot on is that. I'll show you how the focusing mechanism works. So if we open the back of the Automat, the camera should always come with one of these, and that's the pressure plate. It's removable on this camera, and you can see there's an arrow on it. It shows you which way, and there's an arrow there. You push it in like that after you've put the film in. So if you're buying one of these cameras, always make sure you get one of those. The focusing mechanism on these, it doesn't move the lens to focus, it moves the actual film plane. If you can just see that, I think you might just see it. So the whole film plane is moving backwards and forwards, and it's coupled to the rangefinder. So you've got less mechanisms going to the bellows and to the lens this way, so it's a little bit more reliable. There's less to go wrong. I'll show you how to load the film. I've got a dummy film here. Right, this is the only place I struggle a little bit with this camera is loading film into it. So first of all we need a spool in the take-up spool, chamber there, and to do that you lift that latch up and you do that the same on this side. And I do sometimes struggle with these, but I'll see if I can do it a bit easier this time. It's very tight to get into there. There, it's gone. So it's something you'll have to get used to that, but it's quite tight. And then do the same at this side. Push it into there. Sometimes it just drops in first times, and other times I just struggle like mad. It might be me. That's gone in. Now, when you've got that in, and you've got the take-up spool in, you have to pull the film through, and it goes underneath these metal plates that hold the pressure plate in. So it has to go underneath them. Oh, before you do any more, you make sure those catchers go down. That one's down. So pull the film through and then connect it to the take-up spool. Push that into there and then just slowly wind on until it catches onto the film and starts to pull it through, which it's doing now. I just sometimes put a little bit of pressure on the actual roller film so it just tightens it up, and then put the pressure plate in. As I say, it's got an arrow there and it's an arrow on there, and you push that pressure plate in, and then you wind the camera until we see the start mark. There's the arrows, and at the bottom of the camera it's got a little white dot. I don't know if you can see that, and you align the arrow with the white dot. Then shut the back. Open the front of the camera. Keep winding on until we get to the first frame, and there's the frame counter on the camera. And it should stop when we get to number 1, and it's at number 1 now. And what the camera's done is, this is why it's called the Automat, it's actually cocked the shutter. So I can fire the shutter now and then wind on again and watch the shutter cocking automatically. And it winds to number 2, fire again, and you keep doing that until you reach the last frame, shoot the 12th frame, the camera disengages and it rolls all the film back up onto the take-up spool and develop it. So, you know, it's a quite easy camera to work with. The lens is a D-Zuki, I think that's how you pronounce it. FC, I think that stands for fully coated. f3.5 75mm lens. The shutter speeds on this camera run from, and you select them with this knurled ring, run from B 1 second to right up to 500th of a second. And I would always suggest that if you're using the 500th of a second, is select that first before you actually cock the shutter. The apertures run from f3.5 to f22, and you alter those with that knurled ring there, and you've got the index mark at the side, so you can see now I can select the apertures. That's it, and that goes right down to f3.5, so that's the widest aperture, and all the way back down to f22. So all in all, it's a really nice camera. It's you know, for a medium format camera, they are quite cheap to buy, and you're getting this big 6x6 negative in quite a small package, and as you saw in the video, it goes easily into a coat pocket when it's folded up. I think they're a bargain, and I love these folding cameras. The lens is not a Zeiss planar lens. It's not in that quality, but it's not a bad lens at all, and you know, it'll serve you well. They still seem to be difficult to get hold of in the UK. You can get them from Hong Kong and China and places like that, and usually a good one runs around about £150, and that's relatively cheap for a medium format camera. To close the camera, you get hold of these little indents at the side of the struts, and these struts are very, very strong. There's no movement at all on that front lens. You just press those in camera shuts and it folds up and it goes into your pocket or into a little camera bag. So all in all, a great camera. You've seen the pictures in the video that I've taken with it. I would highly recommend one. There's no actual light meters on these cameras. You either work by the Sunny 16 rule, or you're experienced enough to guess it, or you can use a handheld light meter, or you can use one of these small hot shoe or cold shoe mounted meters. This is a Voigtlander VC2. You just slip it onto the hot shoe, press the button, adjust the dials until it turns green, and just transfer those readings to the lens. So as I say, no light meter, there's nothing modern like that on these. So that's the review on the Mamiya 6 Automat, and I hope you enjoyed the whole video. If you have any questions, just leave them below and I'll get back to you. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.